So at the top there's stag, which is east and fire. Then there's the fish, that's south and water. Then below there's earth, and that's the west. And then with the birds, there's air and the north. Okay, so the way I work with the medicine wheel is you start in the center. There's also then the below, which is the feminine, the divine feminine, and the above, that's the divine masculine. Now, when I work with it, we kind of move out of the center and we come out to the northeast. So that northeast is the dreaming. It's the dreaming between what is ending, because the north also represents the death, that time of transition, and the east is the new beginning. So this is the night and the east is the dawn. So that northeast is the dreaming. So when I work with it, we leave at the northeast and we face dawn and we move around, and then we come back in at the northeast, back into the center, because then you review the dreaming. Yeah. The opposite points of the axes are really important because they inform each other. So water and air, but there's also the place of the child and the place of the elder or the ancestors. And the journey also is, there's the creative impulse. Now, other people will do the medicine wheel differently. This is the one that has always felt right for me. Okay. So there's the initial creative impulse, okay, with fire. Now, fire cannot continue without something to sustain it. So it needs earth. So if you think like things like wood and trees are earth. So it needs the resources. So earth is the resources. So it needs the resources to be sustained. Otherwise, it's just a spark and it goes. Yeah. It's just an idea and it goes. And then that idea starts to take form. So the water kind of represents, if you like, the amniotic fluid of something that's starting to come into being, that sort of consciousness and that idea of, trying to find the different components and ideas to bring them together and to start to bring something into form. So water is that beginning of form. So it's that kind of child, that maiden, of that sense of something that isn't quite here yet, but you can feel it arriving. So the waters is our emotions, our feelings, and its consciousness as different a felt consciousness, whereas air is more of the mental consciousness. Okay. And then as we come into earth and we come into maturity and things come to fruition, so that's adulthood or the mother. So we give birth, or that creative project comes into being, we ground it or anchor it in some way. And then as we move into air, which is the mental processes, that's when we start to understand it. That's when we start to understand the journey in a way that we haven't fully understood it before. And then by understanding the journey, and there is then that process of reviewing, because maybe we can do things a little bit differently, which will then potentially spark off another idea, right? And off we go again. Okay, so that's a brief introduction to the medicine wheel. There's a process, a natural process of, through looking at the structure of the medicine wheel, of evolution and unfoldment. So when I work with the medicine wheel, I'll eventually get my medicine wheel course online. And it is about looking at, where we are within that, and how we can sort of just rebalance and, bring that harmony by seeing where we are within that wheel. All right, sending you lots of love, and we will speak soon. Okay, bye then.